Hello everyone, we're in The Lion and the Unicorn. This is the book that was recommended for year 2 by our Grange librarian. It's quite an exciting book and very interesting, also a bit emotional, because Lenny's had to leave his mum from London and be evacuated because it's wartime and it's so dangerous, and his dad is away fighting in the army. There was porridge with plenty of milk and thick slices of bread and marge, but Mrs. B was cross when Lenny would not eat the bacon she gave him. "That's good food wasted. I'll not have that," she scolded. We don't eat bacon in our family," said Lenny in a low voice. Everyone stopped eating and stared at him. Joyce's eyes were as round and as hard as marbles. Even Winnie stopped grizzling. Lenny felt his ears turning pink, but he was stubborn. He thought of Mum and Dad, and he still wouldn't eat the bacon. In the end, Mrs. B gave in and told the children to take their dirty plates into the scullery and get out from under her feet. The girls went off giggling, trailing Winnie after them. Lenny did not know what he was supposed to do, so he wandered off into the yard, through a big gate, and into the gardens. He walked around the paths with wide, overgrown flower beds and peeped into long greenhouses. He found a goldfish pond like the one in the park at home, but it was choked with weeds, and the fish had gone. There was a summer house, half hidden in ivy, and beyond it, set in a high stone wall, a wooden door. It was not the door to somebody's house. Lenny knew that. It was a garden door. He remembered hearing somewhere about a secret garden that was locked up for years and years, and nobody ever went in. Cautiously, he pushed the door. It creaked open. Inside was a little garden, like a room without a roof. It had crisscross mossy paths lined with knee-high hedges and stone seats. In the center was a great rose bush with trailers which swept to the ground. It was very quiet in there. Then a bird flew up with a great clatter of wings, and Lenny saw something on the far side of the garden, high up on a pedestal by the wall. At first he thought it was something alive and watching him, but it was too still to be alive. He went over to it. It was a unicorn, carved in stone, just like the one on his badge. It did not look fierce, strong perhaps, and very beautiful, with its curved neck and long mane. Prancing there alone in the shadow of the wall, it seemed as lonely as he was. Lenny felt a huge relief to have found this place. It made him feel more like himself again. He made up his mind to come back there whenever he could. On Monday morning, the evacuees started at the village school. The children were not friendly. They looked at Lenny blankly as though he wasn't there. When the bell went for morning prayers, Lenny had to stay alone in the classroom, sitting at a desk. In the playground, Joyce, Patsy, and Winnie went off together. Lenny was not included in the boys' football game. He stood by the wall until it was time to go home, clutching Dad's badge in his pocket and pretending he didn't care. On Saturday night, the evacuees had a bath, and Nanny inspected their heads for nits. The bath was huge and had iron feet with claws like a lion. They were only allowed 4 inches of hot water. It was rationed like almost everything else, and by the time it was Lenny's turn, it wasn't even hot anymore. Joyce was Nanny's favorite. Nanny curled her hair for her and pressed her hair ribbons for church on Sunday. Joyce put on a special cute voice when she talked to grown-ups, but when the evacuees were on their own, she was sharp-tongued and treacherous. Lenny spent a lot of time wandering alone in the gardens when no one bothered him. One afternoon, when he pushed open the door of the walled garden, he found somebody else there. A young man with one leg was sitting on one of the stone benches. He was wearing an old tweed jacket with patched elbows. His empty trouser leg was pinned up, and his crutches were propped neatly against the bench beside him. "Hello there," said the man. "It's all right. I do live here. I was just trying to do a bit of weeding." "Are you Bill Penny's helper?" Lenny asked him. "Sort of," said the man. "I used to shoot rabbits and pigeons when they got into his vegetable garden, but I don't anymore. This is one of my favorite places." Wow, poor Lenny. So, it's hard for him. So Lenny didn't eat the bacon, and I think a lot of Grange children also don't eat bacon. So maybe you can work out why he didn't eat the bacon. And then we can wonder, who is this man? Are we going to find out more about him? Is he going to be a friend for Lenny? Is he going to help Lenny? Look forward to the next bit of reading.